What is the fifth dimension? If you've been watching my videos recently, you may have noticed that I've adopted this terminology. I had avoided it for a long time because it sounds like science fiction. It sounds like I get in a magical box or in a spaceship and I travel to the fifth dimension. But it's actually more human than that. It's actually a fundamental quality of being you. It's actually in the experience that you're having right now, not somewhere far away. The word dimension could also be called quality or property. A dimension of consciousness is just a quality of being you, a felt sense experience. We can start one felt sense experience as physicality, meaning I can feel gravity, I can feel myself sitting in my chair, I can feel the fun of playing table tennis and the ball bouncing off the table. This is a third dimensional experience. I can also daydream. I can have mental images. I can dream in my sleep. This is a fourth dimensional experience, I should say. And what you can notice is that the third dimension, the physical experience, and the subtle mental experience, they never run into each other. Meaning, like when I'm driving on the road, I never have to swerve to avoid someone's dreams. My thoughts and fantasies don't run into my skull. Although these dimensions of life are related, they each have their own plane of experience. They get to move independently, move fluidly without interfering with each other. And so the fifth dimension is simply a more subtle quality beneath these two that we access in the same way. We access them by becoming aware of it and feeling it. So let's access the fifth dimension together. I want you to think about someone in your life who loves you, that you feel known by, someone who really cares about you and gets you and that you feel loved by. You just pause and you feel that. If you have some sense of this, there's a person in the world who you feel connected to and cared for by, you are accessing the fifth dimension. And if I ask you this and sadness comes up, if I ask you about connection and being loved and seen, if it evokes negative emotions in you, like sadness, loneliness, anger, shame, you are also accessing the fifth dimension. This dimension of life is all about unity. It's all about the unity of life. And these emotional responses that we have are part of this subtle system that is always paying attention to how unified, how connected is life now? How connected am I to the rest of life? So just like my thoughts and my dreams are not bound to the physical world, my sense of connection, the love that I have, the emotions that I have are also not bound to the physical world. This is why I can feel cared for by someone, or love someone, even if they're not physically present. At this level of life, we are talking about energy and love and the fluid movement of life. So, at the physical level, life is static and solid and firm. As we soften our focus, we access the fifth dimension, which is by nature fluid. And this is where I tend to focus most of my attention in my work. Most of the work that I do with people is focused on the sense of connection and the fluid movement of energy. And just as a starter, energy means the movement of your sensations, the movement of your emotions. That when you tune into your nervous system, that you can witness, you can become aware of a fluid movement. And the more you pay attention to this fluid movement, the more fluid movement you notice. And one of its primary properties, again, is it's not bound to me. My emotion is not contained within my physical body, it is relational by nature, which is where empathy comes from, or compassion, or love, and early developmental attachment between parent and child. This is where connection comes from. My emotional state, my inner world, my nervous system can be seen and felt by others. How is that possible? Physically, that doesn't make sense. Physically, we're separate. How could you possibly feel how I feel, or care for me, or see me, or know me deeply? It's because at the fifth dimensional level, there is a non-separateness. My emotions, my cares, my felt experience actually communicates through life, through the space of my awareness into life, to the place where we all are. Ultimately, the fifth dimension is one giant pool, one unified field of energy. Again, the more that we pay attention to this, the more it comes into focus. So when we think about trauma, trauma can be many things, like getting in a car accident or having a parent die. Things can be overwhelming in nature. But even more importantly, at this level, at a fifth dimensional level, trauma is tears or disruption in the unity of life. It is places in which the oneness, the unity of life, the fabric of life has been torn. This means when people do not see me, I experience shame and sadness and fear. And when I am not able to be heard and received in my emotional experience, this is trauma. This is a place in the fabric of life where there's damage, where there's a rupture, where there's disconnection. And there's a wonderful intelligence here, that the pain is actually a signal that something that is designed to be whole, designed to be one, designed to be unified, is damaged. My body is a signal that there's damage to the fabric of life. So you may have noticed in our world, we are becoming increasingly sensitive to the damage that is occurring at this level. And this is a wonderful thing. If we can orient to this, if we can recognize the harm that is occurring at a subtle level, then we have the opportunity to repair this fabric of life. Again, for our ancestors, for many people in the world, it's not even apparent that there is a unity, that there is a oneness, that there is a care, because we have not lived in a world that has tended to it. But increasingly, we are becoming aware, mostly through recognizing the pain that we experience, that there is a deeper need to feel unified with life, to feel cared for, to feel seen, to feel known, to participate, to have all parts of me be included in life. The capacity that our ancestors have had to repress and to manage life on top of this dimension, we are losing the capacity to do that. So to this end, this is the dimension of life where I spend the most amount of time working. I think it's where there's actually the most amount of work to do. And it's a very beautiful form of work. And the essence of it is that I learn to feel my body in the context of relationship. So I feel that I'm here, and I feel that you are here. And I learn to relate to you. I learn to use this property, this transmitting, unifying, expressing, communicating quality of the fifth dimension. I work with it. I learn to show you how I feel, and I learn to receive how you feel. In this way, I am participating. I become an active participant in the fabric of life. To change metaphors, another way of describing the fifth dimension is like the internet. Just as the internet is a giant pool of information, the fifth dimension is one giant pool of energy. And my body is, I access the internet, I participate in the internet just like I would with a computer. My body becomes online when I'm relating. I'm plugged into the internet, I'm connected to the internet when I am expressing myself, when I'm feeling into life, and when I'm receiving the felt sense experience of other people. And just as the primary principle of the physical world is gravity, gravity is what holds the world together, unless there's some really fancy physicist who would challenge that. But at a simple level, gravity holds the world together physically. This pool of energy, the gravity which holds this pool of energy together, that unifies life, is love. Love is the force which makes us care for each other. It's why I want to give to my child. It's why I want to see you. It's why I want to care for myself and the world. There's this unifying quality. I move towards life. I move into relationship. I move into participation with life because I care, because I have needs, because I want my needs to be met, and I want to meet your needs because I love you. It's an active movement towards the fulfillment of this fabric of life. And the easiest way to access this is, because it is a relational field, is by relating, by learning to feel yourself and others, to send and receive this felt sense information. It's also possible to access this through meditation by softening into the flow of energy, softening into this fluid reality. This fluid quality is dominant in the fifth dimension. It is the fluid movement is the fifth dimension. But in my experience, the evolution of consciousness is expressing for us, is showing us that it's much faster to access this now through relationship than it is by ourselves. Whereas previous generations of spiritual seekers would need to retreat to a mountaintop or a cave or an ashram to go deep inside themselves. It's my joy to bring to the world, to share my experience, that radical, transformative experiences of connection and love, of shared experience that both heal us, that relieve us of our pains, but also give us access to the deeper, intricate, beautiful structure of consciousness. This is available through relating with ordinary people, people who want to relate with you. And this is the focus of my work in the world. I'm very excited to share this with you. This is the fifth dimensional reality. And many years ago, I heard that someday humans are going to ascend to the fifth dimension. And I thought, wow, that sounds really fancy. And I can tell you that it's already happening. And instead of thinking about it like an ascension, again, to some paradise, it's the relaxing into our body and relaxing into relationship, relaxing into this felt sense of care. And it's the bad news, we'll start with the good news. The good news is this is the doorway to unity, to love, and to a tremendous sense of connection, a tremendous wealth of connection, feeling the beauty of life. The bad news is, because this dimension has not been tended to, much of the journey is welcoming pain, welcoming the wounds that occur here, the wounds that have been stored here, meeting all of the tears, repairing all of the tears in this fabric by feeling our emotions, being seen being felt in our emotions, and meeting others in their emotions. Each time we do this, this fabric becomes more whole and integrated, more clear, and we draw more and more people into this reality. So the ascension of human consciousness is less like one of those light beams from a spaceship, and more like the moment-to-moment expression and reception of felt sense experiences. This is how we are going to expand or learn to live in the fifth dimension. And the implications for this world and what is possible, maybe I'll save that for another time. But short in brief, I believe that we can build a world that looks and feels like unity, that feels like all of us, that feels like all of us are included, that all of us get to be here and express all parts of ourself, and the world becomes a fullness, a unity, an expression of universal inclusion. That's the potential of the fifth dimensional reality, and one that we are working towards. And maybe also that we can recognize that the pain and challenge that we face in this world is the pressure that is orienting us to this potential. So that's all for now. I will make another video soon about the fifth dimension and how we access it and the qualities around it in a different way. But for now, that's all. I hope this helps.